It's a blessing to see.
Evening. Welcome to WoWexpressions, where we discuss issues that are important to women. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.
Life can be so
Hi, ladies. So, how you guys going?
How
Good
are
to
you?
see you guys again.
Yeah.
Listen, we had a this week's conversation. We had a letter, an email came in, and this lady wanted us to discuss being single in our 40s. What what to expect, what to
Wow.
look forward to, what are the
Don't
red
have a clue.
signs. What? The
Don't have a clue.
emotional baggage. Yeah?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't think
That's a
yeah, you
that's a
know?
great topic because I literally got divorced in my 40s and started another long-term relationship. So yeah,
Yeah,
and
right?
connecting with someone in your 40s is interesting.
So I really think it's a mistake that when you in your 40s and you're single and you just move to another relationship, and I'm just saying as from experience, from my experience, because
Mm.
I just don't seem to stay single for long. I'm never really single. What the hell? I don't want to answer anybody, but yet I still have to answer to somebody because I
Mm.
am not.
Right.
Sharon, Sharon, what do you think?
I think being single at any age, particularly paying attention to the 40s now, is an interesting thing in the sense where it's important for us to understand ourselves. We are 40 something years old and we find ourselves single. So, whatever the reason is, it's a time for serious, deep introspection to
Yeah,
understand
but it
yourself.
also is you end up single in your 40s for a myriad of reasons.
Very reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
You
But
have
I'm just saying, having recognized where you are is a
mhm.
time for us to examine ourselves. Having spent some time with yourself, what do I want out of life? And going forward, what do I want in a relationship? Know yourself. Some people are afraid to spend time with themselves. Know yourself, know your values, know your worth. And if your relationship ended because of whatever the situation it ended, the point is it ended, examine to see what you would have taken out of that. And there's some things we have to leave behind. So having examined your life at that stage, I will say understand your worth, understand who you are as an individual, understand what are you bringing to any situation, what are you bring to the table. Having understood yourself, you decide what do I want in going forward. Because at the end of the day, you may have grown kids, but it's up to you. This is your life. You're halfway there in life. And what do you want as an individual? And identify the key things that are important to you in any relationship going forward.
Well, that is one part, yes, and I agree. But remember, there are women who forego relationship early on to pursue their careers because that was their focus. And I suppose after you reach the pinnacle, I suppose, of your career, where you want to be, you look around, you think to yourself, maybe I could probably have a relationship now. I'm more mature, financially stable. I know who I am. I know where I want to go, and I could have a relationship now. But then again, being in a relationship with someone is not the same as being in a relationship with yourself. Because you get up in the morning, the only person you have to think about is you. You come home at night, the only person you have to think about is you.
Right.
But when you're in a relationship, you have to share your time and your energy, and you have to share your life with someone. And I think that's where the difference is.
And
A lot of
from the point of view
people.
I was dealing with, Anna, is if we understand and identify the things that we want, we can then learn what, and looking for someone, we can then have a framework as to what we're looking for. We can now fit,
Okay.
we can, because if you, there's no point in going into a relationship where you are this box and you meet this circle and you tell yourself the circle could fit into this box, but then there are the corners of that box that is, the circle doesn't fit. So you want to know
Mm.
clearly, you want to have a clear understanding as to what you want in going forward in any relationship. Having identified
Yeah.
those needs.
Yeah, but remember, you don't really meet the real person the first 6 months. You get a fake person. That's
No, but
all, right?
this is why when you know what you want, you don't waste time. If you realize you went out on a date and you realize there are some things that are very important to you, and if dating this person who is not meeting those needs at all, are you going to continue? You're going to continue to waste time. You're going to move on.
But Rolling Stone gathers no moss. Because everybody has their shortcomings.
Yeah, but I'm saying in the 40s you don't have time to waste. So I'm just saying.
But Sharon said, interrupt, but based on what Anna said, she said the person she is talking about is somebody who forgo having a relationship and having something in their 40s. That person is a unique person because that person all their life have not taken into consideration somebody else's. They're accustomed being on their own, making decisions on their own, and having very little thought to another person. And I think somebody in that situation is even harder to have a relationship, to get a relationship, because they would have, just like you said, certain things that you're looking for, and you're sticking to this stiff rule of what you're looking for. But when you, somebody like that, as Anna was saying, you know, you're not supposed to be sticking to anything particular rule steadfast. You must be able to bend, but you don't bend totally towards something that cannot be, you know.
Yeah, and the
Definitely.
problem of someone who has put their career as their focus, you know, that's a very driven person. And the thing about a relationship, it really exposes the reality, and all your childhood stuff comes up in intimate relationships, you know, and then delaying it for so long. So it's going to be really difficult for
Yeah.
someone in their 40s who's single, you know, and as Sharon said, they really have to kind of reevaluate themselves, because
Yeah.
I focus all my life on being the super person and being the executive or whatever. What are the areas in my personal life that are underdeveloped, right? Because a lot of women have reached the pinnacle of their career and they are in relationships. So maybe that's an indication that maybe that's an area, you have a personal area that you really have opportunity to improve and look to become the best of yourself, because people end up single in their 40s, as you said, for a number of reasons. And you could be that you were someone who got married at 19 or 20, you know, and kid, and then boom, at 30 something you realize your husband was a POS, and you know, you just want it out. So you find yourself at 42 with grown kids and single. How do you deal with that?
And another thing too, you know what comes to mind if I'm a single woman in my 40s? What are my options? Where's my dating pool? Who is in my dating pool? Because you meet, as Anna would rightfully said, you don't really meet the real person. You look out for the little red flags, because whatever you see now in 6 months is going to be tenfold. But the thing is, sometimes people are very good at hiding their true nature.
Exactly.
You rush into anything, and that's why they call it dating. You date, you figure it out. Don't just go and live with somebody you meet because you like them. That is crazy. You have to figure out what this
That's
is
different
about.
from dating in your 20s, because in your 20s you can do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have time.
Exactly. Because in your 20s, you're
Anna,
freer, right?
you
Your
remember
choices, you could choose anything you want in your 20s. But I think in your 40s, you have already made up your mind what you like, what you don't like, who you want to be. And you know, whereas it's okay to go and sleep around in your 20s, in your 40s, you know,
I don't know if that's
it's not becoming.
and you remember the friend we had who went to a party a Saturday night, met a man, brought him home, and that was it. He never.
Yeah. Yeah, but you get away with those things in your 20s. In your 40s, you reach that stage where you've already had all that fun, and you just want somebody to share the rest of your life with.
It's like at 40, you should have very an understanding of what you like and what you should have an understanding, but you're dealing with human nature. You are dealing with the fear of being alone. So, you know, you may drop your ideals and go with whoever, which is not good. But you also making it sound like in your 40s, you're not supposed to have fun anymore. You're not supposed to have spontaneous.
No, I'm not saying not to have fun. No, definitely not. I think
But
we are just
Nadine,
cautious.
to me,
Cautious.
Nadine, sorry, Annie, go
Cautious
ahead.
is the word that I would use. Not that you're not having fun. You are as a woman in your 40s, you are cautious about the person that you would allow yourself to be with.
But what
And
about,
you
okay,
know,
what about the woman who just broke off with the family? What Delia was talking about, you were married all the time at 19, and then at 40, it did not work out. You end up alone. It's literally, she is like the child who you keep home whole time, and then when they go out, they break away. It might be like that too.
I actually know a situation like that. I know of a situation like that. As you say
But
that.
this is why we are saying, and we're actually having this conversation. Don't be like that. Okay? Take some time. Take some time. Rediscover.
Sometimes it's 40-year-old saying, oh, I don't have much time again, let me live my life.
Yeah, but you don't want to rush into something. Then you have to look for compatibility. You just gonna
Compatibility, but this is all regimented and what is said. I'm talking about the actual feelings when it actually happened to you. When you make Sharon, you are very systematic and you do deal with logic and stuff, but not everybody like that.
But this is the thing about it is that at 40, your prefrontal cortex is fully developed. So
develop
that
exactly.
rational part of your brain is fully developed. And we are saying you have to exercise it. Because whereas you did something in your 20s, you could still recover. When you make major life decisions in your 40s, it's really hard to really, if it's really, really terrible, of course you can always recover when you have life, but it's going to be much more of a pull, much more of a strain. So you really have to, even though you might feel like, oh, going crazy and, oh my God, I'm free now. It's like, yes, I'm free now, and I recognize that. But
you have to pull yourself back sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Really, really being
so emotionally, so according to what Sharon is saying, you're single in your 40s, emotionally you have to be stable. Yeah, Sharon?
Exactly, definitely.
Emotionally, you have to know exactly who you are and what you want.
For. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And another thing is
allowances for emotion. You are saying like typically we think these are the things we want, but where's the room for that emotional response, that spontaneous response? And you allow yourself to have these little things, but you have to know, as you said, your frontal cortex is more developed. You have to know when to pull yourself back. Okay, I've had enough fun. Let me just stop and step back and recognize, where is this going? Am I having too much fun? Kind of thing. If I met somebody and we having great sex, that's not a relationship, baby. You're having sex. That's it.
But Nady, even that at 40, getting into a new relationship, because let's say you were involved in a 10-year relationship, your body in your 20s and three children, it's a totally different thing in your 40s. Even if you haven't had any children, your body changes, and a lot of people, they face issues in terms of body image. So that's another factor that, dating in your 40s, like how do you navigate sharing your intimate space with someone you know? And this is where that emotional stability that I think Sharon keeps talking about, where you have to be so confident in who you are, right? That when your relationship gets to that stage, you are fully like, listen, they don't gotta be like perky and up, but they're still beautiful and they're mine.
Men are attracted to that confidence of maturity. Maturity brings this kind of confidence that a woman in their young adulthood is a different kind of aura you project. And I have encountered several younger guys who prefer dating older women. For example, my brother is 35. And he prefers older girls because they have a systematic way of thinking. They show a certain level of maturity and confidence that the younger chicks don't already have. And I've encountered so many guys who prefer to date older women. But that don't mean older women giving you a chance. but they still gonna try.
And we wanted to say something, Sharon.
I'm,
She's not convinced.
no. I'm just saying that, that picture you painted, Nadine, it's a picture that we have to always be mindful of, because at the end of the day, you find a lot of women, they would have established themselves, they would have achieved their goals, and find themselves, like Anna outlined earlier, single. But at the same time, you don't want to pick up someone just to say you have someone, because time is fleeting. And you don't want to invest your time in your 40s behind somebody that doesn't have the long-term.
That's what I'm saying. You're not investing the time. You need to have that little period where you could have fun. That's why it's called dating, and not jumping into committed another, especially for somebody who was in something for 20 years. You're not just jumping into something. It's being in a relationship is emotional stress too. You should be able to say 40 years in you 30 and you're hanging out with your girlfriends, you meeting people, you're not really looking to dive into something else, you know?
Yeah, Sharon.
Yeah. I, for me,
Not agree with me at all.
for me, the person that I'm saying it is important for us to have a clear idea as to what we want to achieve. That is important for me. If you're looking for a partner, no matter the situation, you're looking for a partner, you have to have some compatibility. What are you looking for in a partner? You may say there are things that are important. You may say, okay, I need somebody who is emotionally connected or sensitive to my needs. You may want somebody who is intellectually compatible to me. You may be looking for somebody who is spiritually compatible to me. You may be looking for somebody who is, as I said, emotional compatibility. So if you realize you're spending time with somebody who is not checking these boxes, somebody who makes me laugh, that is important to me. I don't want somebody who I can't share secrets with. There are persons who has no communication in relationships.
Yeah.
They spend time together, and if you observe them, there's no laughter.
For a relationship, I am saying, what about these group of women who are 40 and dating and single? They're not looking for a relationship, they're looking to date and have a little fun.
I think the issue is, what's your goal? So if your
Yeah.
goal is, I have just come out of a long-term relationship and I want to have fun,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
I think it's like,
It's
okay,
different,
have
exactly.
fun, but be mindful. And then you have the woman
Yeah,
who
that's
is
different. But then
in her 40s and she's saying, I'm single, I've been single my adult life, I want somebody.
and I want a relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's what you're looking for. I mean, I remember that thing that you spoke about, Delia. I know someone who's just like that, got married very early on, and in her 40s, divorced, grown kids, and this is the time it's like she gets away. You know what I mean? She wants to do everything. She wants to get into everything. She can't be out. She can't stay home. So is that like she was looking for a relationship? She was just happy to be out of a relationship.
She was 150-pound man on her back. That's what she was happy about.
That's very good. And even too, I mean, and even if she had kids, maybe like 10, 12, because a lot of people in their 40s, that's the age of their kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get into a relationship. If you just dated back while, I'm free. What kind of message are you sending to your kids? Is that a message
Exactly.
to your kids?
Yeah.
What about the relationship with your ex-husband and your kids? You have things that you have to navigate.
You need to keep separate, I think.
Dating in your 40s, being single in your 40s, looking for a relation that you wouldn't have to think about when you were in your 20s and you had no children and you were like, So
And I guess what Sharon is saying is important as well, because you're in your 40s. You're not looking for a relationship to last 2 or 4 years. You're looking for a relationship that you can grow old in, and that compatibility would be important, because I suppose a lot of women, I wouldn't say most, let me just take that back. A lot of women, some go after their spirituality in their 40s. They focus more on God and heavens and whatever. And they also look for a partner who follows that path, So.
Sorry to disturb, Anna. some women in their 40s who just left a long-term relationship, and let's say it was a working woman, she now can now decide to concentrate on her career now, because before she concentrated on having that family and that relationship and that
That
husband,
too. Mm-hmm.
she wants to do other things now. She wants to maybe study something, or she always had this business plan or project. Now she has time and she could channel herself there. There are a lot of other things you can do besides run after a relationship or even run after dating, because after you leave a relationship that is like hard on you emotionally, you feel relieved. I remember when I ended one of my relationships, I did not want to have a relationship. I'd be talking to people and they'll go like, Nadine, why are you single? I said, because nobody wants me. It's not that. I did not want a relationship, especially after the hard one I went through. I was
Mm-hmm.
literally single for 5 years and I chose, okay, you want to go out, I'll meet you so and so, hang with my friend. And there were people interested in me. But on another note, the reason why one of my relationships ended, that bad relationship, the person was drinking a lot. And you see what Sharon said, you write up things you don't like. I was dating this guy and it seemed like he getting serious. And every time he showed up at my door, he had a beer in his hand. That was a turn off for me. And that is why, you know, it didn't go anywhere, because
Mm-hmm.
Sharon said you look at things that you didn't want and I X'd him off.
Red
But the guy,
flags,
yeah,
red flags. When you're dating in your
yeah,
40s,
it's a red flag.
see them red flags and see them for what the hell they are and
Yeah,
run,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
because you
Exactly.
can't, yeah, yeah, and you're supposed to have life experience guiding you to make
yes,
good decisions
Mm-hmm.
about, relationships, right? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
red flags is critical thinking about.
and the thing is, red flags is this other things that thing that we ignore our intuition. You know, when somebody you say your gut telling you or your mind telling you that your
Mm-hmm.
blood and that is your intuition that you need to follow, and it is more enhanced when you're older, because you because of past life experience, your intuition tells you, your intuition and your feeling is usually right and you need to follow it.
Okay. Sharon, you want to add?
I, I just want to say in every area of our lives, it is so important to be in tune with self. It is
Yeah,
so important because I mean, we're coming, on another note, we're coming out of, you guys just came out of election, and I constantly ask myself, what has just happened in terms of our minds? How do we think? How do we see ourselves? How do we make decisions? Do we understand the decision we make today, how it affects us down the road? I've been asking myself so many times, how could so many persons support something that they see outright wrong? What are we thinking as a people? You know, so in every area of our lives, we need to be mindful of our actions. Our
yeah,
action determines so many things in our future that we just need to be aware of ourselves.
yeah.
Definitely. And dating in your 40s with all the concerns of children and career and all of those different things.
A big issue for dating your 40s, you would have children. For example, myself, I have grown children, 22 and 24. They don't study nobody, but I also have an 11-year-old. I went back with my past self and get a young lanyard. If I'm dating someone, I'm not having anyone around my child. My child has a father, but I'm a special issue. What about the people who don't have that father influence in their child's life? And they want a relationship with a man who can fall into
Be
their
the
family
father
and be a
figure.
father figure for their
Yeah, I
child.
mean, definitely, this conversation again, it shows us that nothing is straightforward and easy, and everything is complex with all these different things that are feed into it, right? And this is why ultimately we have to work on self. We have
Yeah,
to become self-aware, and that is the thing that guides us, so that when we see a red flag, we will be so confident in our own self-worth that we will like, I don't have to deal with you with this nonsense just because I want a man. I
yeah,
am connected to who I am spiritually, emotionally, all of those different things, so that I could make really good choices when I look to date and get into relationships in my 40s. Well, girls, again, You know, amazing conversation, Sharon. Emotional stability.
Show on Netflix called Dirty John. This lady who was dating in her 40s. You need to
Yeah.
watch it.
So check out Dirty John and tell us what you think. Again, like and share and subscribe and tell us your thoughts. Are you in your 40s? Are you dating? Are you single? What's going on with you? All right. So see you next time. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.